Hi everyone, I am Tara and I would like to welcome you all back to my channel, Tara, Spirit Mother Teachings of Going Within. Today I'm talking about mental health and the difference between counselor and counseling, okay? I have it written down here, as I said before, I have epiphanies and what have you. Before I get started, because there may be people new to my channel, I'm going to read the description because some people don't read the description, so they don't really know what's happening, okay? Some may think that I come off as a real bitch or what have you, and that's okay. It's more of understanding a few things, okay? Um, some may say, like, okay, where do you get your qualifications? Well, I get my qualifications from experience, okay? And being open and noticing things not only about other people's behavior, but my own. Right. Okay. I didn't have this ready. I actually should have, but it is what it is. And electronics aren't working so great all the time right now. Okay. I know what I can do. Exactly. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to, as I find it, I'm going to read my description, and it is, I'm a spirit mother, and I'm here to wake people up to see how we've been treating each other and our earth. I'm a unique type of spirit guide. I'm a psychic, a medium, a channeler, a telepath, and an empath. I also speak and sign different languages, all of which can be very intense at times. On my channel, I talk about everyday life, the ignorance, greed, the hatred, and etc. Other things too. I do it to get people to look within themselves and how we have been acting in life towards ourselves and others, including animals and, as I said, the earth. Some people may not like what I have to say, whereas others may totally understand. Sometimes I may not come off a very spiritual person. However, I ask you to look within and see what spirituality really means. It is the enlightenment, waking up to the truth, the good, bad, the ugly stuff that we don't like to see about ourselves, about the world, and others. Sometimes we need a little tough love to be able to look within ourselves. I am the inner conscience. Okay. And as I said, I do I channel. So it's not that it's all coming from myself or what have you. I'm being like guided from the spirit to bring forth what we all need to hear, what we all need to learn. Because in other ways, we're actually not really learning it because we're listening to so many other programs and we're forgetting to really listen to our own spirit, our own self, our own body. And we look outside ourselves to find the answers when it's just showing like kind of more of an illusion that gives you a bunch of different things, and it's really hard to sort out. So you're left kind of scrambled and all over the place. And some may not agree with that, and that's totally okay. Okay, so I was doing a little like going within, and see the thing is, um, there's a lot of play on words. Okay, it's put out there as to what is being done to you or what have you. Okay? And we're left thinking that that is the true meaning, but it's actually how you perceive the meaning, because I can look at counselor, okay? And when I look at the word counselor, this is where I'm getting to the difference. When I look at the word counselor, I see counsel Lord. Okay? When I say counsel Lord, it's like more of, I'll pretend that I understand you. But then in the other hand, it's for my personal gain, for my own satisfaction, to make myself feel good with the counsel Lord. And it's like the Lord to keep you coming back. I'll counsel you and I'll pretend I care, even though everything that I'm saying I learned out of a book opposed to sometimes experience, because when you're a counselor, you have to go by what a book says. You're not allowed going by your own experiences. And that's what being able to go by your own experiences, that's what makes the best counselors. Okay? And I'm not saying that in the lore. That's what makes the best counseling ways of counseling. Okay? I'm not a counselor. I'm a guide, and I'm here to help counsel people, but not more than in. It's more of counseling them so that they have independent growth. Whereas a counselor, it's can become more for self gratification, like, oh, I'm helping you, so I want your money. It's a monetary gain. Okay. And where counseling, if you're actually doing the counseling for the person, then you're not looking for a monetary gain. Like I have someone other telling me, like why don't you ask for money? It's because most people that really need the counseling can't afford it. So that's why I told them, like, I have a really hard time asking for money, even if it's a donation, because a lot of people really can't afford it. So a counselor to me, because people don't see it. I said before in one of my videos, they say, what's the difference between an empath and a narcissist? Well, you can have an empathic narcissist. And an empathic narcissist is somebody that should lead you to believe that they're like caring and feeling. It can be. But then they take that and they switch it around for themselves, self gratification. So it's like, it's not for you, it's to have control and say, okay, well, I'll just give you a little bit of a pat on the back just to keep you coming back for more. And with counseling, like I said, it's counsel independent growth for you to be independent, to take back your own power so that you don't need the counseling, the counselor anymore. You then, when you have your independent growth, you then become your owner, because then you're able to see things yourself, opposed to going and seeing someone that just keeps you repeating the same stuff. And then because you're having a certain kind of feeling, they will, because of what a book says of how to do it, it's more of you, you almost feel like you're supposed to feel a certain way, and not supposed to show your true feelings or what have you. Do you ever realize that a counselor, they keep records? Well, as like someone who wants to be counseling people, I don't want to keep records, because it's not about keeping records so that it can be used against you. Do you feel the same? court of law, anything that you say can and will be used against you in court of law, and you go see a counselor and it's all documented, it's all written down, so you can't let that go. You end up continuously reliving it because they bring up your past and you're not allowed to let it go. Counseling, someone who is counseling, that's what we're to be teaching is self-independence, self-growth. And that's a genuine impact to help others without expecting monetary gain, without expecting something in return. I may have been one at one point, but when I started realizing what I was doing myself and I became more familiar with my own spirit and bringing it both back, masculine and feminine, back together, and sorting through and seeing things because it becomes more of a power trip. Well, you're supposed to feel this way. No, you're supposed to feel this way. It's like work together. Okay. So I'm going to I have an article here because a lot of it has to do like what we're going through. It's like there's a lot of mental health going on right now because it's like a manipulation. Like when you think about it, it's like you got your chakras and your grounding. You got the three, like you got sort of like the three centers or what have you, and it's like you got the grounding, okay, and then you have the fear, and then you have the love, but then you have like you got to get past all this part, and it's got you got to get rid of the manipulation. So I've explained it before. It's like think of uh, Pandora's box. It's more of the poison, the dark stuff that you don't want to come out. But the only like as hope rises, hope within you, because you have to do things in order to help hope rise. You can't just expect it, and that's what we do. We keep saying, "Oh, I hope, I hope, I hope." Well, hope is not going to come to light if you're not doing the work to help hope. We bring things to ourselves, and every time we look to someone else, it's like we're giving our power away because we're bigger than what we really are. We feel like we need that help. It's not really helping me. It's guidance to, like I said, counseling to find your own independence, opposed to running back all the time. Okay, so it's how to recognize and deal with an empathic narcissist. Okay, so like when I deal with people, I have the feminine, I have the love, and like the understanding and stuff like that. And I also have that part where I can sense and feel if someone is not being genuine, if they're trying to get sympathy. Because what happens is it, you see more of a fakeness. It's a fake cry because they feel, but they're kind of stuck because they're still trying to use that to their advantage, like having empathy for somebody, but having that like I'm gonna like manipulate through it. It's almost like you can pretend. It's almost like a pretending because, like I said, a genuine empath will feel that. A genuine empath will help to counsel you through that. But if you want to keep being manipulative, I'm here to say if you're dealing with a genuine Hyokia empath, then they're going to see right through it. And I'm going to call you out. And you're not going to like me. And it's not going to like me. You're not going to like me for it. The same as I didn't like myself because I was being made to call myself out on it. And when I do my videos, I'm actually calling myself out on my own. That's why I tell people that sometimes, like, just go do your own videos, because if you want to find out what's happening and you want to free yourself, you know that something just doesn't fit right, and you're back and forth and you're wondering why there's a struggle. It's because we're not allowing ourselves to see our own truths. We're just burying it. We're pushing it down. And then we're left wondering, well, why? Like, why is this happening to me? What's happening to us as individuals? Because we're not looking at it. And I noticed, like, when I'm working with people, I can tell that you feel like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be big, that it's society or what have you says that you're not supposed to feel anything. And that's where it becomes a vicious circle, because then everybody starts feeling the same way. So then instead of actually feeling emotions and allowing it to release in a healthier way, it comes out with anger, aggression, hate. Victim or victimizer. So it's like being able to come out of it, rising, coming up, like hitting each chakra to push it up. Like we say that you feel a certain tightness or pain. Well, that's because that chakra in that area is blocked. And it's trying to be seen, felt, and heard, but we keep pushing it. Keep saying, nope, I don't want you to come out. Because if you come out, then that means that I have to face the truth. And nobody likes facing the truth, not even like, especially about themselves. They just want to look at as we just, it's like we just want to look at other people and their imperfections. And it can feel intense, but it's like when I do my own videos, not like I said, it's not ego or anything like that. It's because it's spirit talking to me too, because it's things that I need to hear, because I've pushed my own stuff down. So as you allow yourself to bring it up, then it's not like you're going back in the past and feeling this way or what have you. Like if you've got like two people that it's like you feel like you're attracting a certain energy. Well, it's because you're being told that you need to look at yourself with regards to the same behavior that you're seeing in them. Because maybe sometimes it's happening because you're reflecting something back at them, so they get angry and like punish you for having them feel that way, vice versa. And then it becomes a banging sort of thing, and then you're in the corner saying, "I've just been victimized," and I felt that same way. I still go through it sometimes, but it's a matter of figuring out what what side of me is feeling that way. And it's not something easy because the truth always hurts, especially when we're looking at our own truths. I look at my own truths. I look at my own truths all the time. Sometimes I try to push it down because sometimes we push it down until we're ready, or sometimes somebody just needs to pull it out of us because we're in a denial of something. And sometimes it's a denial of our own sexuality. Sometimes it's a denial of like self-worth because we're going by one belief that, well, because something says this in a book, it must be true. So then society becomes like they'll shun somebody for one thing or another because it says it in this book. Because they say about bipolar. Okay, bipolar is more that you're struggling with both sides of yourself. The light and the dark, the things we've been through, and the things we want to experience because we're holding ourselves back because of the things that we've been through. So we feel like that we can't get out of there. We're stuck. It's somebody tell me again yesterday that nothing's going to change in the world. Well, okay, think of it this way: how does change happen? First, it starts with you. Stop believing that change isn't going to happen and do your own inner work. Because I know that I was in utter chaos. Like I couldn't even keep my house straight. I used to have someone come in even before I had home care because because I was going unconscious and stuff like that, and it was like I couldn't do my work. But before that, it was the same thing. I was scatterbrained within myself that I just couldn't keep things organized. So I'd have my mom come help me, and my mom was more of someone who kind of kept me centered. And it wasn't that she so much that she was doing the work; she was there keeping me centered. And we were talking, and I feel someone crying right now because they're relating to it. Our parents do things in certain ways, and we blame our parents, but it's a vicious circle. And learning it's a learned behavior, and it's up to us to change that behavior, to stop repeating. Just because you learned something one way, it doesn't mean that you have to follow suit and be the same way. And I know that it's hard because it's like it's beat into you, it's programmed into you. You've got to believe this way. You've got to have my beliefs. And I hear parents they say about, oh well, when I was growing up, this and that. It's like, well, good for you. That's how you were brought up. That's how you were brought up. You're bringing me up the same way. And how's that working out for you? People are saying that I'm a little like I'm a brat. I went in to order my glasses last week, and because I'm more outspoken and what have you now, I went in and I walked up to the counter. I started laughing and I said, "Huh, the problem child's back," because that's what they'll say. People will say that you're a problem child because you don't want because you're seeing your own truth and you don't want to go with the narrative. It's not because you're rebellious or anything like that, or that you're a brat or anything, or a problem child or anything like that. It's because you see something wrong with the pattern. It becomes difficult. And we say our children are this and that, over ADHD, over their bipolar or what have you. It's, no, no. And then you see your parents, and I had somebody tell me that they told parents that if you guys separate, don't expect them to go see either one of you. And sometimes that means that one parent figures you should choose them over the other. See, I would tell the parents because growing up, it wasn't so easy for me either. It was the same thing. It was a struggle. And I just said, like, like, you guys still love each other, and if you don't, like, just separate for a while and figure out if you do, instead of putting the children through it. Because not only are you putting the children through it, but in ways you're putting the children against each other. It's not about loving. You have more than one child. It's not about loving just one of them. If you only wanted to love one child, why go have more children? Keep it innocently. Because it's difficult. If you don't love yourself, it's difficult to love someone else. Because I experienced it. Never, like, if you feel like you had just so much love, but it was more you're trying to hold on to something, you're trying to grip something, you're trying to find something. And I do. I feel really tough sometimes. Like when if I see somebody and they're just trying to like be coddled and manipulate and stuff like that. Because I had someone one other time that I was like carrying it like that, and like it was a manipulative thing, and it was like it was almost like a big cry to get attention. And then when I no longer gave attention, it became fury. So it was like, wait a minute, like I see what's going on here. Like you really, like we need to find ourselves instead of relying on somebody else all the time because we don't want to put ourselves because it's easier to rely on somebody else. So we think because then it becomes communicated on either or side. It's like an attention seeking. And I'm feeling a lot in my solar plex right now. And it's like, okay, it's not that I'm blocking. It's that it's not about looking for the answers from somebody else because they don't have your answers. They can help you find your answers the way I do. It's like feeling the person that like you're denying something to yourself. And like I said, a lot of the time It can be your own sexuality. It can feel like a flip. And then we deny it. We feel we feel or our appearance is one way. We feel one way. But then with regards to our sexuality, we feel another. Because physical and sexuality, like the physical aspect and the inner aspect are two different things. And that's why, and I'll say it, that's why like, and it's going the wrong way, and it's because they're trying to fit into society by changing their outer appearance and having bodies mutilated because of their themselves and they feel a certain way, and they're not accepted that way. They feel like they got to go and look the part, and then it can just cause in some aspects of it, it just causes more. Yeah, I do. Because I have the aspect where I've been attracted to women and attracted to men. I've been with men and I've been with women. And I'm not afraid to say that because I'm comfortable with my sexuality, even if I made bad choices. It's learning from them because it's not about a bad choice. It's kind of like a preference, and it's sorting through yourself to figure out where you are, not trying to figure out someone else. Because the more you try to figure out someone else, the more confused you're going to become. So it's about figuring out your own self, being comfortable. And it doesn't mean that you have to change your physical appearance because somebody doesn't understand or because a book had it written. Because I'm here to tell you that if it's written that way, then maybe it's because they're struggling with their self. Because it was that way for them. It's taboo. Hence, say the taboo is at the bottom. The dirty secrets are pushed to the bottom. But then when we keep pushing it down, is it because we don't want others knowing the truth or because we don't want to face the truth? I know that it's like, yes, for a minute, I told you things come out on both sides. And it becomes very difficult because it becomes a struggle because we like parts of ourselves we overpower one or the other, and then we want to overpower other people because it's how we're feeling inside. So if we're feeling this way on the inside, by golly, everybody else has to, because they say misery loves company. So I am a caring person, very caring. Like I said before, I feel I have in the past. It's like everybody's like people want to manipulate each other. But that's only because they don't want to really look at themselves, because then that means that they have to change. And nobody likes change, because to people, change is hard. Change is only as hard as we make it. I'm not. I don't have a certificate that says that I went to university or anything like that. But I do counseling on a different level, because I connect directly with the person in a genuine. It's like picking apart, because I had to pick apart at myself, and I had to look at some ugly stuff and say it like people say about Yeshua and stuff like that. Well, if you, okay, it's like, okay, they say he died for our sins, but did he really die? It's not up to me to say, but he had to learn things about himself too, because he experienced the tough part. He was an impact, and people want to say that he was this like a really good leader. Maybe he was, but it didn't mean that he didn't have his own struggles to deal with. Because in some, it's like you're saying that he was this way, and you're saying that people was after him. Do you think he wasn't running for his life? And that's what we feel like we're doing. And that's the part of we're trying to look at other people, because we want to run away from our own things, instead of dealing with our own things, opposed to pointing at others. Because then we put, like, you see others, and then if they're thriving or what have you, you're putting pressure on yourself, because you think you have to be like them. Or even those people that appear to be thriving, maybe they're struggling with something on the inside. Just because you're appear to be thriving on the exterior, it doesn't always mean that you're thriving inside, because it's called a front. It's like judging a book by the cover. You see the exterior, but you don't see what's on the inside of that person. But we always want to go by a book. Your book is not your book. You have your own book. So having your own story, not someone else's story. It's not about whether Joe Blow down the road or Susie up the street. It's about wanting to be like them. So who do you want to be? Where do you want to see yourself? And forget about what you see out there. Just have hope. Help hope rise with faith. So it's having faith with yourself, and knowing that you are greater. in the illusion. And people are calling what they call a matrix. It's not about jumping from one matrix to the other and saying, oh, well, I'll follow this person, or I'll follow this person, because they seem like they got it right. Meanwhile, maybe they're feeling the same way. So it's about you and helping yourself so that you can help show others how to find and guide themselves in that way. So then it's producing your own change and not looking for somebody else to change everything for you. Sometimes, yes, I still do it. Because like I say in all the time, I'm on my journey. And not somebody else I want to be. I want to be my version. I don't want someone following me. As an example, when we're showing like how to become empowered, your self-empowerment, it starts with becoming enlightened within yourself. And if that means that you need to look at your own ugly, bad, good truths, look at your good truths and focus on those opposed to it's looking at the bad stuff and moving forward from it. Saying, okay, I'm not going to repeat this. But until you think that's start digging that seed up to see what's causing you to continue to repeat the same things over and over again, it becomes a repetitive behavior. And when you're going in a repetitive behavior, you're not really learning much. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It's like saying, hey, I don't want to be on this hamster wheel anymore. I don't want to be on this roller coaster. I had somebody say to me yesterday that they felt like they were on a roller coaster. Because when you're struggling with yourself, you're actually, they call it bipolar. So we're all too spirited and we're conflicting against our own spirit. And that's where the alignment of the chakras come in. See, the thing is, when you go to a counselor, they don't teach you how to do that stuff. Because most of them don't. And if the ones that don't, and they teach you, not just say, oh, here's the tools, go learn them, or go use them. Go read the instructions. Instead of showing someone you already have it mastered, showing them and teaching them how to use them, opposed to keeping them coming back to you for the answers that you don't even have. You're just looking at a book. You're looking at a book. You're not. It's not connecting with yourself, because if you were connecting with yourself, then you wouldn't be doing something that would keep someone coming back to you for monetary gain. You'd be teaching them how to find the answers for themselves and to say, like, hey, like, we're asking foolish questions. Certain things, does it really matter? How about we go within ourselves and find out why we're asking these questions? It's like I hear people, like, they'll ask, Like I watch different things on different channels or what have you, and some are asking about ex-boyfriends, and my ex-boyfriend coming back to me. Well, okay, you have an insecurity, because if you didn't have an insecurity, you wouldn't be asking those questions. And some are asking, "Am I going to get pregnant?" And in that sense, that's something that's up to you. Like somebody could say, "Yes, you're," and then you're just disappointed because you didn't, or because you got pregnant and you lost the baby, and then it's like, "Well, you told me that that was going to happen." And that's why a lot of um, card readers and what have you will say, like, I can't tell you that. It's not about me telling you that. It's a matter of like whether you're going to allow it to happen for yourself, because it's what's causing you to feel that way. Is there an underlying factor? And if you're feeling that way or what have you, it's about speaking with someone that can look into things a little further, because sometimes it's the question of, are you really, in, if you're going to become pregnant, are you wanting to become pregnant, or are you afraid of becoming pregnant? Because some people become pregnant and they're not ready for it, and then they go and they have a procedure, and then they're left doubting themselves afterwards. It's about asking yourself, why are you doubting yourself? Why were you feeling that to be necessary? It's not about feeling guilt or shame or worrying about how somebody else is going to feel because of the decision that you made. It's not their business. And that's like when I've seen the protests about people head to head about these procedures that I'm talking about. It's not your body, so it's not your choice. You may have a belief, and it doesn't make the person who went and had that procedure, it doesn't make their decision wrong, because it was their decision, not yours. And when you throw guilt or shame on someone for that to make them feel guilty for what they did, you really might want to have a gander at yourself, because you're judging somebody for nothing you know nothing about. It's about if you're not ready, you take proper precautions. And I know sometimes it can happen, because it happened to me. And I was young. I was 14 and a half. So I know, and I chose not to have a procedure. But it doesn't make me any better than the person who chose to. It was my decision, like it was theirs. That's why I say, like, nobody can make your decisions for you unless you allow them to. And then when you allow them to, you take, you're giving them the power over you. like, "Well, I just wanna get over there. Show her the message." It's you. Doesn't make your decision wrong. It only is wrong because you regret it, or you felt like you did something that you wasn't sure you wanted to do, and it was like you jumped the gun. See where you're feeling. It's not about feeling guilty over a choice you made. It's about learning from the experience and knowing the difference whether like somebody is also being genuine, because the person you need to be genuine to first off is yourself. It's not about giving your power away to everyone else. It's like, like you get narcissistic energy. It's like everything, like, it's like a magnet. You're like a magnet. It's called flicking it off. It's like, did you ever watch the movie with Spider-Man and the opposite of Spider-Man when that black matter come down? It was like they said like kind of like an alien for black matter, and it embodied him and it tried to take him over. Very narcissistic, self-importance. Like, oh, look at me and look at me. Center on me so you can't center on yourself. Because then if you center on someone else, then they can have you like this. It's like, I'm gonna shoot back down. I wouldn't rise. I'm gonna keep open Pandora's box so that they don't find their own truth and allow it to rise rise above the suffering, self self greed, because it isn't always about just money. They but like attention, and it's like sometimes like it sometimes we can have a self-loathing. It's finding out why that's self-loathing. Because self-loathing is almost like you feel guilty, angry at yourself for doing it, so you're taking your own power away. Like I said, it can work. It works both ways. It's about becoming balanced within yourself. And that's where you find your true power. That's where you find your true happiness. That's where you find your growth. It's not allowing to take someone else, like one to take over the other, or someone to be superior to you because they're not superior to you. They just try to lead you to believe that way. It's like the counselor, a counsel to lure luring in a trap. They say about the web. You get caught in your own web in that aspect of it. Putting so much out there, and then we put pressure on so much pressure on ourselves that we're pushing ourselves because we think that everybody else, like I said, will feel like others have the answer when, like I said, they don't have your answers. They may say they do and say, oh, well, I know what's best. Helping someone stay from danger, but not creating fear. Helping someone to pull out their own seed so that they may rise and blossom. Free themselves from the dome. Freedom. Free from the dome. It's like an umbrella. Put umbrellas over our head to keep the water from getting on us. Well, water is nourishment. You might get wet. Think of a mother's womb. It's full of water. Your physical body. The majority of it is water. Everything off kilter, off balance. Electrical currents, your blockages, it's not getting through. Your wiring harness, your roots, because every part of your body is connected to your nervous system. And when you're not firing properly, then what happens? It's like that part of the root dies. So whatever it's attached to, it feels like it dies with it. It's like talking to, like, there's nothing wrong with it. Talking to yourself, just being with yourself. Being able to be honest with yourself. Because when we don't trust others, maybe it's because we're not trusting ourselves in an aspect of it. To look at it that way. But I don't have your answers. Just heard somebody say when you're part of spirit. Well, if I'm part of spirit and you feel that I have your answers, then I guess that means that you have your own answers, don't you? We're all part of spirit. And I shouldn't have to give you what you perceive to be your answers. It's not up to you. So teaching how to help someone find their answers, like I said. And the first way is helping someone to see it. It keeps them from finding their own answers and looking elsewhere for it. I was going to read, but I want people to do it for themselves. Okay? It's an article called How to Recognize and deal with an empathic narcissist. Because we all struggle. And even if they say that they're not, just because you're like, by saying that you're not, that tells me that you're in self-denial. And that's just from self-experience, from my own experience. When we say that, oh, well, I didn't do, or not like that. How do you know? Because to me, that says, well, I'm not like that. I'm better than everyone else. I don't do no wrong. Be in not that area, but maybe in some other area. Because if you say something about Susie down the road, a gossip, then you're doing something. Just because they're not hearing you. But I'm not judging you for it. We want to pass judgment on others. But like I said, we never want to look at our own. And we all, and it's an insecurity. But I know that you can rise above, help rise by taking those steps, helping hope up, helping hope come to the surface, and not just being hope, hoping that a seed will grow. Nurture that seed and allow it to come up. It's like a baby in that in some aspects, if you want to look at it that way. You have to nourish a baby in order for it to grow. So if you nourish your seed with self-doubt, then it's going to grow, but it's not going to grow in a healthy way. But when you begin to know your own self-worth and you allow yourself to nourish yourself in good ways, then not only having hope, but you're giving life and a rebirth, because then you're rebirthing yourself, because you are your hope. I usually read the card beforehand, but I got kind of going, and I'm going to stop there. I'm going to read the card. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and to go before I sleep. See, that is the roots are down in the dark and the deep, and your love is what's going to help them grow into the light. And it's about the journey moving forward and growing. And the sleep is like, don't allow your own light to dim, because the more you allow yourself to grow, the higher you're going to rise. Every notice a tree rises, it points in the direction of the sun. The light, allow yourself to move up. Hope is in the darkness. But you have to have, in order to find light, you start from the depths of darkness and you rise. And as you rise, you become more self-empowered. And it's not about overpowering somebody else, because you have no right to overpower them. You have no right to overpower somebody else. And if you're trying to overpower somebody else because you're not in control of yourself and you want to be in control of someone, then there's more work that as an individual you have to do with yourself in order to help as they help others. But you have to be able to help yourself first. It's not about going out and like beating yourself down because you feel like you got to help everyone else. It's finding your own power so that you can truly help others, because by helping yourself, then you are actually helping others because they see it. They see your change. And then they want to try to beat you down because it's making them see something that maybe they're struggling with themselves. It's not about feeling like you're above everybody else. It's about knowing that just by you making the change, it's making a broader change, because you're expanding yourself. You're expanding. You're becoming that, from a blossom to a flower, from a caterpillar to a butterfly. I feel like I kind of lost some people there because I felt the dip, but it's like I said, it's not a matter of what I'm saying or how I see things. It's part of not looking for answers on the exterior. You're not. Guy that doesn't want to counsel you in that aspect of being a counselor. I want to be a guide that is counseling you to empower yourself, become independent. I just heard self-sufficient. Mhm. Bring it in. It's about frequencies. Right now, I'm feeling frequencies in my root chakra and my sacral or sacral. Okay. I'm learning stuff. It's not that I'm learning from a book. It's I'm learning from experience, and I'm taking what others say kind of, as gospel, but it's about kind of not absorbing it, but seeing it. Yeah, it's almost like sometimes it feel like an energy that sort of wants to make you doubt yourself on what you say or how you feel. But when that's happening, it could be that it's your own insecurities, and it's maybe showing them a thing that they don't like. But that's not on me. So I'm going to leave you with the right the weekend. Um, People are off the weekend. I kind of sit with yourself and I'm going to say if you're looking for someone that's going to help you dig your seed, then look for someone who's not going to always coddle, but someone who's actually going to work with you, help you see, hear, like help you hear what you're saying, because then you'll start seeing it for yourself. You'll start experiencing it for yourself, and you'll start helping yourself. So, with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. I want you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self. Be true to yourself, be true to others. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And know that you are more powerful and you have strength than you can comprehend sometimes. Stop trying to look outside of yourself for your answers because they have your answers. You have them. Wish you all have a great weekend. I'm sending you love. Que sea tu día alegre. Keep it down.